order, and I want to thank everyone. Okay, got a little ahead of the recording, but I want to call this meeting to order. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their very busy schedules and being stuck in a 3 hours worth of traffic. And we came very close to canceling this meeting tonight. I did cancel our Cub Scouts because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to bring the flags and everything, which I couldn't make it. But anyway, we're going to move on. This is a really good evening tonight. I expect a shorter meeting. I'm going to read our time limit policies that we have. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to open and list the participants and click the raise hand icon by their name for those that are virtual. And when recognized by the chair, address comments directly to me, please. And remarks should not exceed 3 minutes. Please cancel the raised hand after you're done speaking. Presentations must be kept under 5 minutes. Please silence your cell phones. The chat box can also be used to communicate with our neighborhood assistant that we have here. Should be monitoring that. And board members are required to keep their video active during board meeting. The board may take action on any agenda item as required by the state sunshine law. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted on unless added to the agenda. The board actions such as draft resolutions and outgoing letters were posted for the public on the Google Drive. Okay, everybody, I hope signed in and back here for our public record. If you haven't, please sign in as you go out the door. As far as our board team right now, I'm going to have a roll call vote, and you'll get a chance to see our who's who. Go ahead. Melissa, thank you.
Member Wong.
Here.
Thank you. Vice Chair Duran.
Here.
Thank you. Member Dupio. Thank you. Member Inouye. Not here. Member Smith. Not here. Member Takeuchi.
Here.
Thank you. Member Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. Velasco. Thank you. Trevor.
Here.
Thank you. Member Weber.
Here.
Thank you. Member Yamato. 9 members present, Chair. Quorum established.
All right, thank you. We got a quorum. Okay, and I know that Mike Taylor's got to leave early tonight, so he'll be part of that. And Dan Smith is on travel, and unfortunately from the Marshall Islands, he was having connectivity problems, but hopefully he'll join us later. Okay, moving on. Our first responders, the Honolulu Fire Department. Welcome, gentlemen.
We got stuck in it. I had to pee really bad, so we made it. We made it all right. Firefighter James, we're out of Station 20, Pearl City. We're the fun station underneath the bridge that you drive over. Kaplan, Firefighter John, and Firefighter Eric are lurking in the shadows back there, backing me up here. So let's see. We have our neighborhood report for January 26th. These are statistics from December of 2025. We had 1 structure fire, 1 wildland brush fire, 1 nuisance fire, 1 cooking fire, 3 activated alarms with no fire. Medical emergency wise, we had 133 medical emergencies, 1 motor vehicle collision with a pedestrian, 13 motor vehicle crash involving a collision, 1 mountain rescue, no ocean rescues, and no hazardous material incidents. So not bad. So our fire safety tip of the month is electrical safety in the home. And I covered these tips for you guys. It's finally curated list here. Check electrical hazards in your home. Here's some tips to keep your ohana safe. Plug 1 heat producing appliance, coffee maker, toaster, etc., into a wall receptacle outlet at a time. Major appliances such as refrigerators, dryers, stoves, etc., should be plugged directly into a wall receptacle outlet. Extension cords and power taps or strips should not be used. Check electrical cords to ensure they are not running across doorways or under carpets. They do get frayed and spark and do bad things. So extension cords are intended for temporary use. Have a licensed electrician install additional receptacle outlets to eliminate using extension cords and ensure electrical work is performed by a licensed electrician. And I think one of the things to mention on the taps too, the extension cords and the power taps, don't plug a power tap into a power tap into a power tap and all that. So we're just trying to reduce the current load. So those are safety tips and our stats for the month. Do you guys have any questions for the fire department that I can bounce off my captain?
Okay, well, thank you very much for the updates, especially all those safety tips that I hope all our residents will understand and pass to all their family members. Board members, any questions for HFD? Any from the public? Anything from the firefighters back there? Anything else you want to add? But I'll tell you what, we really appreciate you all. Okay, that's all we
Oh, I
got.
got away scot-free. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right.
Back to business, and hopefully you get to watch TV.
Dinner.
Okay, moving on to the Honolulu Police Department. Do we have anybody online? And they may be still taking care of residual traffic. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, next portion on our agenda is public testimony. This is an opportunity for the public to concerns to the board. We do have some of the city and state officials here to listen in. Does anybody have anything they would like to bring up? And because we got the best of Pearl City High School students here, you got to have in mind that you always wanted to bring up to the board. Besides that, wanting a swimming pool, besides wanting the road fix and the sidewalk up to Pearl City High School, better bus service. Right, Heidi? Okay, everybody's happy. That's good. Okay, we do have somebody online here, and I actually met this young lady last night at the neighborhood commission meeting. This is Miss Mariko Misatori. You've got the floor, and you have 3 minutes. We can't hear you. You're still muted. Mariko, I'll give you a couple seconds here. If not, we can catch you later. We don't hear you. Maybe because she's on the phone and she hasn't connected. Okay, and the next one is Ku. Ku, are you online?
Aloha, yes, I'm online.
Okay, can you go ahead? You got 3 minutes to address the board.
Okay. Aloha, Chair, members of the board, mahalo for your time today. I'm here to share a concern from our Waiau Elementary community. Our Hawaiian Immersion Kaipuni program currently ends at 6th grade. After that, families are forced to commute to Kapolei or into town if they want their keiki to continue in immersion. While Kapolei's pathway matters, Pearl City's is just as important. When there's no local pathway, families leave. We see this clearly as the Native Hawaiian population drops from 40% at Waiau to 14% at Highland. Parents have been asking for a 7th grade pilot repeatedly through BOE meetings and directly with the Office of Hawaiian Education. Initially, we were told there was no funding despite Act 126. More recently, we've been told that existing programs are being prioritized, even though Waiau is the oldest program in the state and the petition for our school having received over 100 signatures. Despite these efforts, our calls and emails often go unanswered from BOE, and there is no dedicated community concern section during BOE meetings. We respectfully ask for Representative Takayama and Senator Elefante's help in engaging with the Office of Hawaiian Education so a 7th grade pilot can move forward. Mahalo for your time.
Ku, thank you very much. And what I'd like to do is turn this over to Vice Chair Charmaine Duran, who is volunteered to take the lead on this initiative. Charmaine, do you have anything to say?
Can we check if there's any more testimony on the same subject so we don't cut them off and then we can just at one time?
Mariko, can you could you please stand by? Is there any other comments that want to be made on the Hawaiian Immersion Initiative? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Aloha, hello. I'm Kahea Faria.
Okay, go ahead.
Aloha, thank you very much. I don't live in your district, but I am here to support what Ku'u just shared. I do work in Hawaiian education, preparing teachers for Hawaiian immersion classrooms. And my child is in 10th grade in Kaneohe, actually. So I'm here because I wanted to ask this board. I know Ku'u just asked for 7th grade, but I'm wondering if folks can think about immersion as a whole as a K-12 setting. The reason for this is because there isn't anywhere else that students can go to utilize Hawaiian language. The only place that they can utilize it actively right now is in the schools with their classmates. So to send them into different pockets, 7th grade in Kapolei only, and Kapolei High School or Kapolei Middle or anywhere else, we're breaking them apart. They would only have their class, their specific class to utilize Hawaiian. They won't have a school setting where they can utilize this language. So I'm only here to ask if folks would consider a K-12 in every district for Hawaiian language immersion. Mahalo nui.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Charmaine, I'd like to turn it back over to you.
I want to say first, thank you very much for showing up and for caring about this topic. I think it's really important for everyone interested in this topic to step up and get involved, and small steps help. But something I've noticed since we originally adopted the Hawaiian Immersion Reso, so this board, as I've shared multiple times, supporting Hawaiian immersion is already a priority. We adopted a resolution in support of that. You let us know where you are in the process and we're happy to submit testimony. But something I have noticed, and this probably, the testimony here really speaks to that, is that nobody is really clear on the process for establishing a kaiopuni. And I think that rests with the DOE and BOE. It's kind of, get it if you can, see how many people you can bug. And I think that serves all of us poorly. And I think that's something we can all work to change, everybody, including existing kaiopuni. I think it should be clear when there's an interest and a drive to establish kaiopuni, whether it's 7 to 9 or K to 12, it should be clear how that is established, because we shouldn't be pitting one effort against another. There is more than enough to support all the efforts. It's just about what is the process to get recognized? What is the process to get established? I have read more documents that anybody should have to about kaiopuni, including the strategic plan. And we'll just say that there leaves a lot to desire. And I hear you. I hear what you want to do. You let us know where you are in the process, because it has to be parent focused, and we are happy to submit testimony in support of you. But I also want to say, and I'm not going to call out any private school graduates on the board, but there are many wonderful private schools that kids commute to every single day. And those are wonderful schools far away. And so I think if there's a will, there's a way to get that education, and there's probably room for expansion. So you just let us know when you make those steps. And we're happy to be there for you. Again, good job in stepping up.
Charmaine, thank you very much for those comments and for our two people that testified just now. The board will be tracking this initiative. We'll be collaborating with our officials, and we'll continue to move forward and try to help as much as we can. Board members, are there any other comments from anybody here? Any comments from the public that are here? Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next issue. We're going to go back to Mariko. Mariko, you have 3 minutes to address your issue.
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you loud and
Yes,
clear.
okay. All right, so my issue is about houseless garbage collection, that we should set up a dedicated dumpster for houseless residents underneath the rail as an experiment. as a pilot program and spray paint on there for unhoused garbage collection only. So the proposition is to separate the people who live there from the waste that they produced, and to apply humanity instead of more savageness when use like I guess instead of sweeps. And I know that some people support Trump and feel that homelessness is like lawlessness, but if you add more humanity, give them water and give them garbage collection, then you'll see that possibly there won't be so much garbage around where they live.
So Mariko, can you let the board know where your temporary encampment is located right now exactly?
I actually am speaking for just general houseless people, but what I see is a ton of garbage underneath the rail, right along the highway there, the 99. There's there's a bunch of cars parked there. There used to be a big bus parked there. There's a whole bunch of garbage right under the rail. People have been accumulating. They're dumping in shopping carts. And it's not the only place that a garbage accumulates. Any place that people live are going to accumulate garbage, housed or unhoused. So I'm proposing that the solution is not to sweep everybody and everything out, which is what a sweep usually is a mass garbage collection and an attempt to displace the homeless population, but they just wait until you guys are done and then they come back. And we all know that this happens. This is the cycle, and nothing has changed for years and years. So I'm proposing that we try something new. Okay,
Mariko, you're breaking up right now. We just lost you. I think we got the majority of your issue that you have. And I think to be successful, at least getting started, you start a pilot program as you had suggested. And we just can't do it all at one time to ask the city to go everywhere. But we hear you. And is there any officials online that would like to comment on that right now? Oh, Charmaine, Vice Chair. Vice Chair, do you want to make a comment on that, on the last issue?
Chair, I'm going to assume that you've already given her information about the resources available in Pearl City.
No, we didn't get a lot of time last night because it was in the middle of the commission meeting
Okay.
and she had departed. But I have her contact information. So Mariko, we're going to get back with you and we'll coordinate with the city and to see if there's an opportunity. And I see you still have your hand up, Charmaine. Okay, it's lower.
No.
Okay. Okay, so Mariko, we got your issue, and thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we'll see what we can do on that. Are there any other public testimony that anybody'd like to give? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the governor's office. We've got Mr. Jeff Hickman here representing Governor Josh Green. What? Oh, I'm
Chair.
sorry. Yep, my eyes.
Chair.
Thanks for correcting me.
Chair.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Actually have a motion, but I'm not sure because our agenda is a little different today. So I know we're facilitating several people, but I wanted to know if some point we can move up resolution item D to next in the agenda. Cause I think both Mr. Smith, who's the introducer, and Board Member Taylor might have to leave at some point, so it might be useful to have them participate in that while we can.
Okay, thank you for that. So board members, are any objections of changing the agenda? We're going to go to item 7D. This is for Dan Smith. And Dan, are you online now? Okay, and then followed by recognizing the Pearl
Yes,
City.
yes, I am. And
Okay,
I
can you go ahead and
apologize.
present
I
the
don't have-
resolution, please?
You know, I don't have it in front of me. I apologize.
Can we defer
Not-
it till
not
February
well.
meeting?
That would be okay. Yes, yes.
Do you
Yeah,
want,
because
why
we need
don't
to-
you
we-
just,
we
why
have-
don't we just, why don't we just do it, since I know the kids are here and here, I think I can probably, unless board member Michael wants to do it. Do you want to do it? You want to do the motion for it?
But we need to read the resolution.
Yeah, well, we need
I'd
to. read-
appreciate that.
No?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead and read the resolution if you have it in front of you.
Okay. Is it, you asking me to? Is it me? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so this resolution supports the participation and community design process. And it says a resolution supporting the participation and community-centered design and planning for facilities. And it acknowledges what a wonderful job the Pearl City High School has done on the dog park. It requests that they participate in designing a swimming pool for the Pearl City High School. And it also asks both the city and state take steps to implement this type of program permanently, which is being done in other parts of the nation. So with that said, move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, so Dan seconded and Charmaine wrote the
Oh,
motion. Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote.
okay. Whoops, I seem to have lost the meeting.
Member Wong,
Hopefully I'm back.
Vice Chair Duran,
Aye.
Member Dupio, Member Inoue,
I lost the audio.
Member Smith, we can hear you. Can you hear us? No. Member Smith? We'll come back. Member Tiuchi?
I lost the audio.
Member Taylor?
Aye.
Member Velasco? Chair Verre?
Aye.
Member Weber? Member Yamato? 8 ayes, 0 noes, 1 abstain, motion adopted.
All right, thank you. All right, and we're moving on to the presentations for Pearl City High School for the dog park proposals. So the first one, group one, you have the briefing on it, right? Okay, and you're going to switch the slides for them. Who's here for group one? Kyle, welcome. You got it up.
Big dogs is first.
Hey, okay, well. So Kyle, can you just basically go through it real quick so we can just show the public what they did? Well, just go through all four of them real quick just so they can get snapshots to see what they all did.
Oh, the kids have those 5 minutes.
No, while they here, while they here, nobody stood up. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and there's the microphone, and then you can brief it. And you got 5 minutes or less.
Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Sarah and this is Chloe. And unfortunately, one of our groups couldn't be here, part of their group. So we're gonna present on their behalf. So this group is called Pearl Canine Designers, or PCD. You can go to the next slide. And their team consists of Raiden, Jordan, and Grayson. So we're just gonna get straight into the first concept sketch. As you can see, there's a square fence around the entire thing. And there's two separate areas, one separating the big dogs from the little dogs. And it's hard to see, but the bigger dog section is a little bigger than the smaller dog section. And they're also using turf and gravel to make like a bone shape. I think a big difference with this design and a lot of the other designs is that this design has a rectangular perimeter instead of a bone shaped fencing. So that's going to save money on bending the fencing. And there's also water fountains, benches, bleachers, and all kinds of equipment scattered throughout the design. So after their first design, they consulted with RMA Architects, which is a real architecture firm. They mainly gave advice about other things to consider. For example, the times the park opens and closes, or who's going to be in charge of what. But probably the biggest thing they said was to make the gate the same height as the fencing. You can go to the next one. So here is their second concept sketch. It's a site plan, so it's a flat view of it. They did get a little overzealous with the extra budget room, so they added a lot of features. They added more benches, more bleachers, more water fountains. Yeah, you can go to the next one.
This is a virtual walkthrough of the 3D rendered dog park.
Yeah, it's a PDF, so she's not gonna be able to do the walkthrough video.
Next. You can go to the next slide. Afterwards, they transferred their design into Revit. Afterwards, they transferred the design into Revit, which is basically a site plan that shows how the dog park will fit in with the surrounding area. So there's 12 picnic tables, 12 fountains, and 8 bleachers in their design. Next. This is the cost breakdown of everything in their dog park. Next. Next. And it comes out to a total cost just under $100,000, which is a lot. That's why they had to take out a lot of things in their original design. So that's all. Thank you.
And for the public, you know, they actually got with professional architects and collaborating, which this is really good and really thoughtful. And of course, we have a gem of a park, at Pearl City with the Blaisdell Park. Those monkey pod trees are extremely valuable. The shade that they produce, and it's a perfect place. And those of you that drive down on Cam Highway and you go past Makalapa Gate for the Navy, there's a dog park across the street. Nobody uses it during the day. It's too hot. And the only time you see anybody out there is at 6 o'clock in the evening, and they only got an hour. This is designed underneath the monkey pod trees. And also, Tony Velasco and Heidi Weber and Mike Taylor will be having another follow-on meeting. We're going to bring in the AKC Dog Show people. And this is going to be also collaborating with them to have a location for dog shows. So we'll be the first, I think, on island to have a off-leash dog park and support dog shows at the same time. So thank you so much. Okay, next one.
Yeah. Hold on. The other sides. Yeah, that one. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerry Cusano. I'm Adriel Garrido. And this is our dog park proposal. This first slide shows some pictures me and Jared took when we surveyed the site. In the lower left corner shows the closest water fixture to the area, and the bigger image on the right shows the dimensions in relation to the field. So in our first concept sketch, we decided on a bone-shaped perimeter around our dog park with concrete walkways lining the interior of our fences. We also have two different areas, a big dog area and a small dog area, and double gate for extra security, just so your dog doesn't just run out of the dog park. We have benches for any dog owners, dog water stations, bleachers, trash cans, and extra dog equipment. We proposed this idea to the RMA architects, and some key takeaways we got from them were to build around the tree roots, which is roughly the same area as the leaves, to move the water fountains closer to the source, to add an extra gated area for disabled or undisciplined dogs, and to implement crates instead of expensive equipment. They also advised that we figure out the shade that occurs during different times of the day. So in our second concept sketch, you can see that we put the water fixtures or the dog water stations closer together for easier piping and easier construction. We also added a storage shed for any dog equipment that could be used in the dog shows or events. We also added a few extra benches and trash cans. And what's labeled in number 4 is our extra dog area for any misbehaving dogs or disabled dogs. And please note that this area is completely optional. You can easily take it out if you wanted more space in the big dog area. This is just a 3D view of our concept sketch number 2. This image shows our Revit file, which is a software used by real world architects. It's a scale drawing with measurements, and it's helpful for making adjustments and shows the digital footprint and what it looks like in the park. This is just a wider view of the area. So this is the cost analysis of some equipment in our dog park. And so the trash cans, the water fountains, etc., costed about $19,497. The play equipment cost $8,437, which gives us a total of $27,934, with the remaining $72,066. Please note that this is just retail prices. So when you go through like state procurement and stuff, prices may vary, probably on the cheaper side. Those are just the videos that cannot be displayed because it's a PDF file.
Great, thank you. Next one. Great job, guys.
Yes, that's good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to come and listen to this presentation. This is our dog park project.
And who are you?
I am Rylan, and my 2 other members are not here, unfortunately. So basically, a run through. We were asked to design a park for Blaisdell Community Park, and after weeks and preparation, we made a 3D model and a blueprint for you to view tonight. So currently, our current issues at Blaisdell Park. Could you zoom in a little bit? Currently, there lacks. Oh, yes, right. Thank you.
Get your driver's license.
Currently the park there is too hot with few to no shaded areas for families or pets to cool off if they come to spend time there. The park does also not include water fountains for mainly pets, but there are fountains for humans. Oh, thank you. And another concern is the lack of fun and engaging things in our current dog parks as of right now. So in our blueprint design, we hope to cover those concerns. So our main objective for this park is to create a fun and welcoming space for pets and families for yeah, can we just move on to Alexa? This is our first first blueprint design. We sorry for the very light shading. It came out very light than it originally looks, but as you can see in the front, we have a double gate. We tried our best, our very best to make it look nice, but due to our lack of experience, it looks like this. But right now, our double gate is supposed to be so that dogs don't just get out easily, and we're planning on making it ADA accessible, so families with disabilities will be able to get in easily. And so on our left side is our big dog park, I'm pretty sure, and our right side is the small dog park. As you can see, there are benches on the sides of the park, and in the corners is seating areas. We tried to represent it best, but the fences are supposed to be covered with like fake hedges so that it doesn't look as harsh when you're looking from the outside. It looks like a live and welcoming area for families. And we chose artificial hedges because we knew that it would be pretty expensive to hire someone to maintain and take care of the hedges if they were real. So some of the items this is some of the items in our dog park. This is the cost analysis for our dog items in the park, and our estimated cost for items is between $10,880 to $15,100. And for our other amenities like benches, trash cans, and the water fountains for the dogs, it comes out to, I guess we didn't write it down. Yeah, that's the cost right there. Unfortunately, since this is a PDF, we cannot do the 3D walkthrough, but in these videos, it would show the different times of day where the shading would be. But from right here, you can see our like 3D rendering of the model. We use the new software that we just learned, and it shows day and night cycle and like a walkthrough of like the 3D park as if you're there. Unfortunately, due to us learning this project recently, the program recently, we were not able to represent the trees that are supposed to be there to cover the shading. And that's it. Do you have any questions?
What is the perimeter dimensions on this dog park? So length versus width or square footage?
I don't quite remember, but I think from the last time I checked with my team, it was 150 feet by 150 feet.
Square, good. It's not rectangular then. Oh,
That's just a rough estimate.
oh, good, good, good. Okay. Yeah, keep it. What is the height of the fence?
height of the fence, I think we all agreed on like the standard 6 foot height, so that dogs don't just jump out easily.
Okay, the fourth, yes, go ahead there, Doc. Since you're a dog lover.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Number one, I'm the proud parent or father of 2 golden retrievers and have been for about 25 years over the years. So much appreciated for you kids or to do this type of project. I'm hoping to convince Larry to do something maybe a little bit smaller in my area. And the other point that Larry made, that I totally want to echo, is how important it is to consider trees for that shade for the dogs so that you can use it kind of all day long. And lastly, I was so happy to hear the young man say that he had made consideration for handicapped folks. Selfishly, that's always one difficulty sometimes of going to a dog park is that the ground is difficult for me to get to. So appreciate that so much. And thank you to all of you.
Yeah, thanks. Do we have a fourth one? That's it? That's it. Okay, so we're gonna, and I'll tell you what, this is just spectacular. And what, you have a question? Okay, but this is historical. I think you're the first high school to ever do something like this for the neighborhood boards and to be able to come up with all this creativity, innovativeness, and resourcefulness. So what I'd like to do right now is turn this over to our board member, Tony Velasco, who's got recognition because we want to show you how much we appreciate you. And Heidi Weber is going to assist him, and Mike Taylor had to leave. But this is our Parks and Recreation Committee. And of course, where this is going to go, we'll be having another follow-on meeting. We'll be having Parks and Rec actually show up so we can coordinate.
Okay,
So you got it.
okay, we have some certificates for you folks. On behalf of the Pearl City Neighborhood Board number 21 and the Neighborhood Commission, we hereby present this certificate to all 14 or 16 of you, Pearl City High School, for your outstanding design proposal produced for the Pearl City Neighborhood Board number 21 Parks and Recreation Committee. Your design proposal will be placed before the committee for your decision to be potentially selected for the planned construction of an off-leash dog park on the grounds of the Neil Blazo Pearl City, Neil Blazo Park in Pearl City. Your innovative agricultural class team demonstrated innovative, creative, and resourceful ideas during a design process of the dog park, making this proposed project a reality for the many families with pets to have fun in the park and participate in dog shows as well. With heartfelt thanks, we thank you for your dedication, teamwork, research, collaboration, and time to support this very important initiative for our community. Very impressive work. Mahalo nui loa. So the first one is Sarah Yogi. Go ahead. The second is Chloe. Aban. How you pronounce your last name? Aban Heinich. Sorry.
Good job. That's I'm not 5-star. That's perfect.
And then the next one is Jared Usano. The next one is Adriel Garrido. Garrido. And finally, Ryan Koga. Okay, we have one for Kyle Martin. We hereby present the certificate of recognition. Pearl City High School, Mr. Kyle Martin, for your truly outstanding leadership, professional knowledge, and dedicated mentorship of your students attending your agriculture class. With your technical guidance, your students produced 4 design proposals to the Neighborhood Board 21 Parks and Recreation Committee. The student design proposals were placed before the committee for future design for one of the plans to be potentially selected for the construction of an off-leash dog park on the grounds of the Neo Place Park in Pro City. Their innovative architectural class team demonstrated innovative, creative, and resourceful ideas during the design process of the dog park, making this proposed project a reality for the many families with the pets to have fun in the park and participate in dog shows as well. With heartfelt thanks, we thank you for your leading your students with teamwork to support this very important initiative for our community. Mahalo nui loa.
Thank you.
Oh, on a side note, Kyle Martin is a varsity coach for the girls basketball team. They're gonna be in the D2 championship against Kalani Kaiser Wednesday, right? Tomorrow night at McKinley. So good luck. Congratulations.
Mr. Martin, I have a question for you. Are all these students seniors? They are. So, should we be able to look forward to another delegation of young architects coming forward for Pro City projects in the future? Good, good. Is there any other departments in the Pro City High School that could assist you folks with, like, say, maybe the benches, like a wood shop or something like that in the Pro City High School?
Yes, so we do have the residential commercial construction program as well as the engineering technology program. We
Yeah,
do look for opportunities to cross collaborate.
yeah, I think that would be a big asset, and they could work with one another, and it would only help them as they go on in the future to, you know, assist with other projects. But look forward to seeing you guys do a lot of stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have one more speaker. And it's actually, this is very special for you because we have the privilege to have the director of the city for facilities management, Mr. Gene Abano. And he's a real engineer.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Good evening. I personally asked to speak to you folks and really just want to congratulate and commend you on this impressive presentation. It takes courage and some fortitude to present to a group like this. I once was a high schooler and I did not have any guts to come and try and present a project on behalf of yourselves as well as the passion for a dog park. This is certainly impressive for the neighborhood board as well as Parks and Recreation. And I will certainly now advocate for this to move forward. I have some sage advice. If this is your passion, go for it and never stop learning. And lastly, Revit is a very difficult software program. These are professional people that utilize it. So for you to do a walkthrough at your young age, very impressive. I was in the industry for 30 plus years. I know RMA very well, whether it's Brett or Brian Genoza. I know all of them there. So I will certainly talk story with them and make recommendations that you got. If architecture is your career, certainly we'll put a great word for you guys moving forward. So congratulations to Pro City High School and its program.
Director Abano, thank you very much. And for you seniors, you can say that you met the director and one day you can knock on his door and says, he's hiring. See, there you go. I set you guys up for success tonight. Okay, we're moving on and let's get to our officials. And starting, where we at? Oh, yeah, you're,
Actually,
yeah, he's
perfect
next.
segue. Good evening, Vice Chair, members of the Neighborhood Board. Happy New Year. I think this is the first meeting for the year, and so hopefully everyone enjoyed celebration as we start off 2026. This year, this month's mayor's highlight in his newsletter, 20-year veteran Kurt Lager sworn in as Chief of Ocean Safety, which is now official. There is new flood risk maps that take into effect June 10, 2026. It may affect property owners who may now need to get flood insurance moving forward. Let's see, construction begins at Waianae Police Station. It's a modest renovation of 2,600 square feet that is going to help some of the HPD divisions there in Waianae. Transit-oriented housing coming to Kapolei and Kalihi as Skyline continues to make as much of an impact to the citizens that are able to take full advantage of that. And lastly, restroom at Kapiolani Community College vandalized again, which is unfortunate. That was done by DFM. We did it 3 times in 2 years, and we're hoping that there is a better way to manage that. And it's quite disappointing that citizens there is not taking care of a great facility that they need at KCC. Lastly, the city launches new and improved HNL 311 on December 1st. It allows residents to use it to report issues in their communities, be able to fix and addressed by the city. It can be used by Apple and Android devices, and I would highly encourage that be used moving forward. Some follow-up from our last meeting. Member Weber asked if she could get a copy of the survey results from Parks. And so I have a contact number for you, and I can give that to you after that. Member Wong asked about who owns the gated area by the Skyline where a mailbox was recently added. It belongs to Hart. And with that, I'll take any questions that the board may have.
Okay, board members, any questions for the director? Go ahead, Guy.
Which presentation you liked?
All of them. All of them. Very impressive. Yes.
Okay, and Director, I don't know if you were here when we had Miss Mariko Misatori. She's currently homeless, and she provided testimony in the public testimony section of our agenda, and she was asking what's the feasibility of the homeless encampment here in Pearl City by the train station. They could get some type of trash bin. She said that the homeless there would be willing to take all their trash and put it into a bin if somebody would come and pick it up. And she's proposing a pilot program just to see how it works.
Okay.
Could you please look at that?
We can
consider it?
ask our director of homelessness to take a look at that.
Okay.
I believe Roy was here, and so a couple of, was it last meeting where he presented Miyahira? So he would be the individual that we can ask for further assistance.
Okay. Board members, any other questions? Okay. What's that? Go ahead.
This one might be easy. I don't know. Is there a new 311 app?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the one I just
Not
mentioned
even.
about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a little bit more user friendly, and it should streamline the process within the city. Member Velasco probably talk about it further, but the IT, to their credit, has really made that app a little bit more user friendly and more efficient.
But make sure you make a lot.
There is a login without question.
Yeah. Give her the mic.
You can do it without as an anonymous, but it's better if you make yourself a login so that you can track if that has been received, if it's in process, and when it's been completed.
Thank you, Member Heidi.
Yeah,
It's
direct-
critical. I know some constituents may have an issue with being identified. However, in many cases, for us to have follow-up, we do need a contact number, someone who we can talk to. And if it goes anonymous, it's really difficult to have any follow-up. So thank you, Member Heidi.
Yeah, direct. Wait, Heidi.
And I've actually had them follow up because they haven't been able to locate the location, because sometimes when you click on, when you log it as you're out walking in the community, it grabs the house that you're standing beside, but the address is on the opposite street, or the street fronting the house, and you're on the back side of that house. And so they'll just call and confirm where the location is. So everybody's been wonderful to work with, and I really appreciate that app. Thank you.
And just to give you feedback, Director, up the residents that usually call me about parking problems in Pearl City, they've noticed that they're getting quick responses using that app.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Okay, for the public, any questions for the director? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Gene.
Till next month. Aloha.
All right, take care. Okay, moving on, Council Member Okimoto.
Hi,
Yeah, no-
good evening, Chair, Vice
Hi, Aaron.
Chair, board members, and members of the public. The council member sends her regrets. She's currently at the Representative Cases Town Hall meeting currently. She did want to commend all the young students for their professional work, and would like to visit the school and get a simple briefing from them to be able to just see what these parks are. Try to keep this short. Happy New Year. The council held its final council meeting on December 3rd of last year. They passed, one of the notable bills was Bill 46, requires HPD to release certain public information to the media as well as the public in a timely manner. As well as the committee on budget also met on the 13th of this month. One of the notable bills there, they're trying to create a searchable online database for city revenues and expenditures that is free and open to the public, that should be updated at least monthly. That should be it. Keep this pretty brief. I can take any questions back. Oh, as for the chair and vice chair, I think that the council member would like to meet to get the board's priorities, legislative priorities for this year. I think we did send an email back, and we're waiting on vice chair's schedule.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. And I'll get with the vice chair and Tony, did you want to join us in that meeting? Okay, and there'll be three of us. We just got to get our schedules together and propose it to Council Member Okimoto. But Aaron, thank you for the updates, and board members, any questions for Aaron to relate to our council member? Seeing none. Public, any questions? Hearing none. All right. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, moving on to the governor's office with Mr. Jeff Hickman, Representative Governor Josh Green. Thank you.
Well, those high schoolers were big, huh? So I'll put a shout out for the Hawaii National Guard. If any of them want to join, we have an engineering program where our engineers build stuff and also blow it up. So it's exciting. The governor gave his recent state of the state, so I'll make sure I include a PDF. I'll send it to you, Larry, and also share the governor's most recent newsletter, so you guys have that information. There was one item that I didn't get answered to, so Member Wong, I owe you one on the lane for buses where the state would work with the county. I'll get with you offline and get the exact details of that and get the answer. An email went out and nothing came back, so I'll work with you and make sure I get you an answer. I'll also make sure I take back to the governor's office about the concern about the Hawaiian language program, and definitely share about the dog park. Are there any questions at this time?
Hey, board members, any questions for Mr. Hickman? I have a few. The first one was Again, I'm searching for help for Sunset Memorial Park Cemetery. There appears to be, when it starts to rain from the mountains, there's underground artesian wells, maybe the Pualoa stream that's underneath the cemetery. It's actually sucking the dirt out from the grave sites. It's something, it looks like something from a Steven Spielberg movie with the poltergeist. There's 25 grave sites that have collapsed, and it's outside the coffin area, so the dirt's being sucked down somewhere. And I'd really like somebody just to give me advice on how we should patch those holes up, because if I put dirt in, it's going to just suck the dirt out on the next storm. So I'm looking for the Army Corps engineers or somebody, and even somebody from DFM. Director, one thing, I don't know if you have anybody that for hydrology, that's for the cemetery. I got 25 grave sites that have collapsed, and it appears the underground stream is sucking the dirt out of the grave sites. And I need some assistance just to get advice on how do we fix that problem. If you could point me to somebody. Thank you. Okay, and then the other thing is we're trying to, I met with the Pacific Palisades Community Association, and the Vice Chair and I have been trying to work this together. You know, we're concerned about the next fire season, and because of the homeless encampments around Pacific Palisades, and it's built up on a plateau, and everybody's property line goes right to the edge, there's no fire breaks. So to be proactive and figure this thing out, how could a wildfire start? It could start with malicious activity with one of those homeless. Now, I've reached out. I sent an email to Director Lambert asking if what's the feasibility of using their drones to map out and locate all the homeless sites, and then take that information, turn it over to DLNR, and then we go ahead and have them remove those sites. To me, that's the best proactive plan to use, but I don't know who we should go to. But if you could give me advice whether we go directly to DLNR and ask them to use their drones if they have any.
Okay, I'll take that back. So concern is fire safety with the homeless in the Pacific Palisades area. So you did send an email to DLE Director. I saw that. You CC'd me on that. And so we'll see what his response is, but the follow-on will be to see if DLNR can assist based on them using their drones.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm also coordinating a meeting with HFD Air Ops. I just want you to be aware of it because we do have noise issues with the helicopter training that's currently going on in the Pacific Palisades area, and we need to try to come up and mitigate that noise.
So this is the county's helicopters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that we have this issue, but I'll be working directly with the chief of HFD and with the Air Ops to try to get this meeting together with, I'm trying to think of who else, at the top of my head, I'm trying to remember who else should be in this meeting.
I'll send an email to my counterpart in public affairs.
Yeah.
I think she's outgoing, Jamie Song, and there's a new captain that's coming in. So I'll email him and just touch base. But if you could, we'll go two-pronged.
Yeah, I'll send you an email with these, give you more details, but I just want the public to know these are very important concerns that I think the Pearl City Neighborhood Board could help facilitate, collaborate, and then try to come up with a resolution.
And where are they flying? Is it Palisades?
They're flying on the northwest side cliff area of the little mountain ridge there. It's a good training area, but I really think the solution is if they just move it closer to Waiava Prison, the noise will not affect the residents. I think they can still do their training, but it's to be discussed. We got to hear what's going on. But thank you, Jeff. That's all I got. Rodney?
Yeah, for Larry's with the fire breaks, the state does have a new fire marshal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how's she doing? Does she have a staff, a budget?
I can check. Okay.
Okay, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I just want the newsletter, since I'm online. Is the governor's newsletter online somewhere?
It is. It is. I can send you the link right after I get off the mic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you get that to me, I'll pass it to all the board members.
Okay.
Okay, in public, any questions for Mr. Hickman? Seeing none. Jeff, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. And moving on. Oh, I forgot. Casey Abbey. Casey, you there?
Yes, I am, Chair. Good evening.
I'm sorry.
Happy New Year.
Bit off tonight. Just
Chair
a new year.
Barrett, and members of the Pearl City Neighborhood Board, Casey Abbey from the State DOT Highways. At October's meeting, there was a request to immediately install a electronic message board informing motorists traveling eastbound on Kamehameha Highway from Leeward Community College that motorists traveling from the transit station has the right of way, and motorists traveling from Leeward Community College must yield when trying to move to the far left lane to make the U-turn or left turn at Acacia Road intersection. Talking to our traffic branch, they did not recommend installing electronic message boards because there is an existing sign informing motorists coming from Leeward Community College that they must yield to traffic coming from the transit station. I want to thank Senator Elafante for your December 31st email concerning graffiti on the Skyline support columns 315 and 316. Since the columns fall under HART jurisdiction, our Deputy Director for Highways is working with HART to paint over the graffiti. During my quick field investigation yesterday, the graffiti is still there, along with other graffiti and trash from a homeless encampment across the Sam's Club. I am working with our maintenance crew on painting over the graffiti and removing the trash. Although we have been getting some much needed rain to help prevent wildfires, unfortunately the rain has caused vegetation overgrowth and potholes. I'm working with our maintenance crew on addressing these concerns. On Wednesday, January 1st, we received an email from resident Takayama concerning the streetlights on Ho'okiki Street was not working. Pictures on this slide was taken during my quick field investigation this past Saturday, just before sunset. Our Deputy Director had our Oahu District Office investigate. Although Ho'okiki Street is still under the ownership of the state DOE, we finally found someone at the DOE who was willing to take care of adjusting the streetlights. Per the slide, the board or elected officials can contact Jid Duncan for future concerns along Ho'okiki Street. On Thursday, January 22nd, I received an email from Dustin from Representative Chun's office, where a constituent was asking if there was any plans to install a new traffic signal system at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Waihona Street, which leads to the Pearl City Industrial Park. Unfortunately, we currently do not have any plans to install a new traffic signal system. But if the tenants or residents on Waihona Street thinks the traffic signal system is needed, they can work with the Pearl City Neighborhood Board to request the state highways to conduct a traffic study to see if the intersection warrants a traffic signal system. After the board approves having the state highways conduct a traffic study, the board can ask their state elected officials, who can email our Deputy Director for Highways, Mr. Robert Shishido, to have us conduct a traffic study. And if the elected officials copy me on their email to our deputy, I can follow up and report back on the status of the traffic study. And finally, at a previous meeting, there was a request to have our traffic branch take another look to see if we can install a third left turn lane at Acacia Road intersection, where the inside median lane would be a U-turn only lane, while the two outside lanes will be a double left turn onto Acacia Road. This slide shows the existing condition, which allows a simultaneous double left turn movement onto Acacia Road and Home Depot parking lot, with a minimum 5 feet clearance between the two WB-40 vehicles. Working with our traffic branch, they overlaid two WB-40 templates on our existing pavement plans, where the WB-40 on the second lane, making the left turn onto Acacia Road, has a 60-foot turning radius, while the WB-40 on the second lane, making the left turn into Home Depot, has a 75-foot turning radius. This is how the original consulting designers laid out the existing condition to make the simultaneous double left turn movement work. When our traffic branch laid out the templates to install the proposed third left turn lane, this slide shows at least 3 challenges. First, we do not have the minimum 5 feet clearance between the two WB-40 vehicles when making the simultaneous double left turn movement onto Acacia Road and Home Depot. Yes, we could eliminate one of the double left turn lanes into Home Depot to obtain the 5-foot clearance, but we would need Home Depot's approval and the neighborhood board approval in case there are any complaints from the public. The second problem is the insufficient turning space for vehicles, especially for SU-30s or full-size pickup trucks, making the U-turn at Acacia Road to go westbound on Kamehameha Highway. There is not enough space and no safety clearance when making the U-turn. Third, there is insufficient space and zero safety clearance for two WB-40 vehicles making the double left turn moving onto Acacia Road. The drivers of the WB-40 would need to make a perfect left turn movement to avoid side swiping each other or hitting the existing concrete sidewalk on Acacia Road. As mentioned previously, we need to push out the sidewalk to provide sufficient turning space and a safety clearance. But if the neighborhood board really wants the state highways to redesign the whole intersection to accommodate the third left turn lane onto Acacia Road, we will need the board to work with Home Depot to see if they are willing to eliminate one of their two left turn lanes into the parking lot. After the neighborhood board members obtain Home Depot approval and vote to approve the new project, the board can have their state elected officials work with our Deputy Director for Highways, Mr. Robin Shishido, to have us submit funding for a future capital improvement project to redesign the intersection so we can create this third left turn lane. And again, if the elected officials copy me on their email to our deputy, I can follow up and report back on the status of the new CIP project. These next two slides are examples of existing locations where there is insufficient safety clearance or paved shoulders for motorists not making a perfect turning movement. For large truck traveling on H1 eastbound and taking the area off-ramp to go westbound on Moreland Road, it is very hard for them to make the right turn without intruding into the next through lane that goes towards Aya Elementary School. We have had numerous requests from motorists and Senator Elefante to replace the damaged flexible D-lane post that separates the two lanes. During my quick field inspection yesterday, the newly opened bus-only U-turn lane before the Acacia Road intersection is another example of not installing a wide enough paved left shoulder for bus drivers who do not make the wide enough left turn movement, causing the back tires to fall off the 2 feet paved shoulder. These two examples are the main reason why we need to install a large enough safety factor when installing a third left turn lane at Acacia Road. I will be working with our maintenance crew on addressing the damaged left turn shoulder for the bus-only U-turn. This concludes my report. I can take any questions at this time.
Casey, thank you so much for a very technical description of the situation and the challenges that are there. And I'm just happy that, that the state DOT is looking at this very creative, innovative idea that Rodney Wong had given you guys. So I'm going to turn over to Rodney right now. Make it quick.
Thanks, Casey. So my biggest question is, how did the state go ahead and give Home Depot a double lane? Are they paying for this lane? Have they paid for this lane?
Oh, yes, it's part of the approval process. They have to pay to make the intersection improvements.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is that's why they got a double lane to go inside to their store, but they don't have 1/10 of the amount of cars that are on the other side that only have 2 lanes. So that's, it brings a lot of question to mind, because for the length of time that the other side lane uses to make the left onto Acacia, they can have the same amount of time to make the left into Home Depot with a single lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because once the cars run out and the signal catches a view, when the camera catches a view, their lane is automatically shut off, and then the through traffic on Kamehameha Highway comes through. So, it doesn't make sense to have 2 lanes for a store that can manage with 1.
Yeah, I guess because there's also that public storage building that shares the parking lot with Home Depot. They assume that public
Yeah,
storage
but
would have traffic generated.
there's also another entrance to that storage lot. There's one right next to the University of Hawaii. Their Urban Garden, yeah. Now, the other question I have from one of my friends who actually work in Waihona, and he has a big semi-tractor trailer. Would it be feasible? So now that, when it first opened up, there were 2 lanes, 1 lane going into Waihona, 1 lane coming out. So a lot of guys were trying to use it coming up, which is kind of difficult. It's a jackknife turn. So the question is that could they use the U-turn that the buses are using to go double back instead of going through, the traffic signals? Could they also use that U-turn that the buses are using to go back to Waihona?
Yeah, that's a good question there. Again, we installed the U-turn for buses only at the request of the city to help their
Yeah.
city transit, but
Yeah, understood. And like you
I
said,
can ask.
yeah, the buses have a hard time because, it's not easy to make a turn, with a bus with the radius that you guys gave them on that U-turn. So, bearing that in mind, I think the lane itself could be a little bit way wider, or the apex of the turn could be more higher.
Okay, board, thank you, Casey. Board members, any questions for Casey? Charmaine, Vice Chair?
Thank you for that report. Well, you always provide a lot of information. It's a lot of technical information, and I'm sure I have several questions. I just don't know what they are yet. So if possible, if it's okay, I could maybe email you those after I talk to the chair about approaching Home Depot and see how he wants to handle that. But
Sure.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And Casey, I do have one question for you, if you could help me. On Kamehameha Highway, with one of the perimeters of Sunset Memorial Park Cemetery, there's a fence that goes along the sidewalk. I don't know if that belongs to the cemetery or belongs to the state, whoever takes care of that sidewalk along Kamehameha Highway. Could you check in to see who's responsible? Because the fence is in disrepair and it needs to be fixed. And I just need to find out who's responsible for it. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Casey, just one more quick one. I don't know if it was your doing, but their cars are allowed to make U-turns now across from the Hawaiian Electric gate. So for that, I thank you.
You're welcome.
And no trucks at that location making turns. Okay, Casey, thank you so much. And I'll be in touch with you again for the vice chair there so she understands the technical aspects and the questions she needs answered. Okay, we're going to move on back onto our agenda for the state legislature. Anybody for Senator Glenn Wakai? None? Okay, we got Senator Brandon Elefante waiting patiently. And sir, thank you so much.
Good evening, Chair Murray, Vice Chair Duran, members of the board, members of the community, Brandon Elefante from the State Senate. Joining with me, come on, staff. As I do every year, I welcome back my staff to the neighborhood board, but many of them have also been, here and present. But I just wanted to reintroduce and introduce my staff that works very hard at a state capitol. So there'll be times where I won't be here. So one of them have been here in the past on my behalf, but definitely we will have a representative whenever that we can. So to my left, to your right is Jan Salcedo. She's my office manager. She has over 30 years of experience in the state government and city government. She's been with me for the last 12 years. And so she's my office manager. She handles appointments, scheduling, and basically runs the office. And then we have Taylor Sells. Taylor Sells is my committee clerk. She handles anything dealing with the committees that I'm a part of and is also in charge of policy or any type of legislation that comes to our office. So you're familiar with them because they've been here before, either virtually or in person. And then our newest member is Kayla Okamura. Kayla Okamura is a graduate of the University of Hawaii at Manoa from last year. And so she joins us this legislative session. So she handles the newsletters, our social media, and everything that we need and assists Taylor with the committee work that I do. So if we can give them a hand, because they really work hard. They're actually my bosses, and so are you. You folks can have a seat. Thank you. They're very behind the scenes, but they really do work hard. So happy New Year to all of you. Thank you, Chair, for having me. I just wanted to, as I mentioned, my staff, there are a few changes in the Senate. I do have new committee assignments. So the first new committee assignment that I have is I now chair the Committee on Labor and Technology. I will be vice chair of the Committee of Transportation. So I still remain on that committee, but I get moved up as vice chair. The new chair for that committee is Senator Lorraine Inouye. So I no longer serve on Water and Land, and I no longer serve on the committee. What was the other committee that I had? Not Judiciary, Public Safety. Public Safety. So those are the two committees I'm not a part of. The new committees, the other new committee that I am a part of is I'm a member on the Housing Committee, and then I still remain a member on the Ways and Means Committee. So those are my new committee assignments. You can find more of that in my printed newsletter, which all of you should have, and we did send it out to the board with that as well. So, and I just want to acknowledge the Pearl City High School students that were here and doing a presentation. So thank you to Board Chair Vare and the members here for really engaging them at such a young age to really see that there is a future and a career path if they do want to pursue that. I also want to acknowledge Board Member Weber for your efforts in coordinating a traffic awareness early in the morning, which my colleagues and I happily joined you. So thank you. You had a really big turnout. I know Vice Chair Duran was there, Board Member Velasco, and a few others here on the board. So, and Board Member Smith. So thank you. Thank you again. That was really successful. And how many of you noticed that this past year, illegal fireworks may have been less per se? Yep. Okay. So we do see that has gone down, and we're grateful for that. And that's because of the laws that we've passed at the Capitol to strengthen penalties. But we do need to clean up efforts on enforcement. So that's something during briefings that we've had with the Department of Law Enforcement and working with the county local law enforcement, something that they can improve on fireworks enforcement. There is an illegal fireworks hotline that the public can report to. If you need that information, I'm not sure if it's on my report or not, but if you need it, we can definitely send it to you. And then I just wanted to acknowledge those that have come and shared their community concerns as well. I do agree with the sentiments of Vice Chair Duran for the Kaipuni schools as well and process for that. And thank you for being here, and also to Mariko. And if there's any assistance that we can provide, we're happy to help. The other thing I want to mention is that I know there was some conversations for Palisades residents about fire breaks. So Chair Vare and Vice Chair Duran, something that Senator Lamasao and I worked on is Act 303, which was passed last session. And actually Senator Lamasao was a really big part of that and getting that passed, which is basically establishing fire breaks and also a community fuels reduction program within the Department of Land and Natural Resources. So they have funding in there that they can go out and do fire breaks or mitigate issues in the area. So if you folks have that information, please do share that with us, and we can make sure that we follow up on that. And then lastly, as we have started opening day well into session, one of the big concerns will be our state budget. So the governor gave his State of the State address yesterday. And so as many of you know, he has a proposal to pause on some of the future income tax credits in future years, which will help sort of save savings where we don't have to do significant cuts. But one of the big wild cards that we are facing is the impacts at the federal government level in terms of programs like Medicaid and SNAP, where a lot of that would be funded by the government, but now states are having to take on the burden of a lot of those upfront costs for that. So that's being proposed in this supplemental year in our budget. The good news is that tourism, even though it sort of remains flat, we still rely upon that. And majority of our visitors, over 70%, are actually, believe it or not, coming from the US East Coast and the US West Coast. Canada has dipped and Japan have dipped, but they provide a big source of revenue for our economy, whether it's GET or TAT. So the next economic outlook, the Council of Revenues will meet sometime in March. We just got their recent ones, which wasn't sort of positive, but not enough to dip below the levels. So that's something as we go forward in our budget process, that we take a close look at so that we pass a sound balanced budget and that we have the programs that we need. And lastly, all of our Pearl City delegation, we're working hard to represent you. And so please feel free to reach out to us at any time during this legislation or during this session. And that concludes my report. Thank you. I know this is a bit lengthy, but thank you.
It's never too lengthy. Senator Elefante, thank you so much. Truly, you showed your dedication to Pearl City and this board, and we commend you for everything you've done. We watch you when you're in the city council, and you never let us down. So continue on. But for you and all the other lawmakers, this board is ready to engage the hearings in the state legislature. We need to know what bills that we need to stand up for and to make things happen. And we have a pretty good track record with the Pearl City Neighborhood Board on getting those resolutions and bills approved. So please reach out to us and give us a tip. And I know working with the office staff, you guys have always been great. Let me know and keep me tipped on those bills. But thank you, sir. Board members, any questions for our senator? Seeing none. And public, anything? Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very thorough. Okay, and we have the privilege, our new senator, Rachel Lamasso. My first time, I met you at the sign waving.
Yes.
That's where I was. But welcome, and we're glad to see that you're in that seat, and we look forward to work with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me tonight. I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I am your new senator. I represent part of Pearl City, or a neighboring community to Senator Elefante, where Senator Aquino formerly represented. And I was appointed on December 3rd. I served in the House for 3 years, representing District 36, Waipahu. And so I'm happy to, I've been walking the district to hear about people's concerns on my official capacity. And it was great because I got to hear at their concerns and then also introduce some bills on behalf of those constituencies. So I wanted to say mahalo to the Pearl City community for really welcoming me and my staff. I also wanted to mention that I retained Maureen Andrade. So there is some continuity in my office from Senator Aquino's office. This legislative session, I will be the vice chair for labor and technology, who Senator Elefante is leading. And then I will be the vice chair for Hawaiian Affairs. I will be a member of Consumer Protection Committee and then also Water and Land. I was the vice chair for Water and Land in the House. So that's where I interacted with Senator Elefante, where we passed Senate Bill 303, getting appropriations for fire breaks, $1 million through conference. So that was a really big win for our community and our state. I do have a few projects that I'm going to be working on this session. One is doing a Malcolm to Mackay type of projects, but for West Lock and for Middle Lock. So that will also include communities where the stream outlets are going into those areas, working with the city and the Navy to see how we can produce a MOA where we can all have all hands part of this great, just taking care of our INA and taking care of our communities where our streams have been kind of just lacking in just care. So that's something I've been always passionate about when I first started working in the House. So I want to carry on that that project to the Senate. And now that I've built that relationship with DLNR and understanding how their funding works and how they can also leverage federal funds through the military, which is also called REPI funds. So if you're in a certain vicinity of a military base, you can access some of those funds. So they actually have done that in Honouliuli. So if we can expand that from Honouliuli all the way to Pearl City and Aiea, that would be really great as well. And I've also, as I mentioned earlier, when I walked around the community, there were some concerns about, our kupuna being on fixed income and what has the legislature done for them. So we've done a multitude of things, including rental financing for their rental assistance. But I'm going to introduce a GET tax break for our kupuna. So those who qualify 60 years old and above can get some type of relief when they go to the grocery stores. That was kind of the running sentiment that I've been hearing from constituencies, especially in the Pearl City area. But I am here, and if you ever need to call my office, you can always talk to Maureen Andrade or my office manager Chanel Cullen, or any of my session staffers. They'll be willing to assist you at any time. But you can also email me at senlamosao, so SENLAMOSAO at capital.hawaii.gov. If you need to email me at the middle of the night because you're just like thinking about things, and I'll be happy to receive it the following day. Thank you guys so much. I'm here to answer any questions as well.
Well, Senator, welcome and thank you so much. And I am very pleased that you kept most of the staff from Senator Aquino. And of course, I hope in his pass down, he told you there were two big issues for Pearl City that he was working with us. And one was a proposal to move the Pearl City Post Office over to Navy property so we could open up that intersection so Rodney could get his wish on fixing that intersection.
Yes.
And the other one was we have a shortage in youth sports fields. And there's 11-acre area that's been vacant for years. And that could be used for a youth sports facility, both jointly with the Navy and with the public. So I'll be talking with you on those two things.
Yes, I would love to hear about where those, well, I know where the post office is, but I want to hear where the ceiling.
Yeah,
11
and the other
acres.
thing too is Vice Chair and I and other board members, anytime you want a coffee, tea, zippies, lunch, we're open. Come and join us.
Oh, great. I had the pleasure of meeting most of you folks that are at the sign waving.
That's right.
And then earlier tonight. But if I haven't met you, I'd be happy to talk stories with you after the board meeting as well.
Okay,
Thank
board
you so
members,
much.
any questions for our new senator? Go ahead, Heidi.
I just wanted to say that I love that you're working on the Malka to Mackay for the streams. I had the privilege of going out today with my daughter's school
Oh.
and DAR to the little
Yes.
stream that runs down right behind the mini golf course
Yep.
at Pearl Ridge, behind Down to Earth,
Mhm.
and doing a seining project in there to look for invasive species and everything.
Mhm.
And the gentleman from DAR,
Yes.
Mr.
Division
Lee,
of Aquatic
yes,
Resources.
he was very happy with what we found, and he said that the stream was very healthy because of some of the species. We found a predatory oopu, which oopu, the ones that climb the
Oh.
yeah, but this one it doesn't have the sucker on the bottom, so it doesn't
Yeah.
climb. It stays in the lower levels, and so it's a Hawaiian endemic species. And so it was really neat, very educational, and I think it's great that you're working on that.
Yeah, we've done a ton of site visits during my time as a vice chair across the state, and I've seen what they've done in communities and with community involvement as well. So if there's any community group that want to get involved, I would love to touch base with them, and we can do something throughout District 19. Yeah, so that'd be great.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. Public? Anybody online? Okay, well, thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, moving on. And we've got Representative Greg Takayama. Welcome, sir.
I let them go home after a certain, not really a slave driver like Senator Elefante. I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you so much. It's not too late to wish you a happy Chinese New Year, February 17th, Year of the Horse. So thank you all for another year of service to our Pearl City community. Looking forward to working with you. A couple days ago, Representative Chun and I both got an email from Principal Hanoi at the Highlands Intermediate. The speeding down Ho'olaulea in front of the school has gotten bad enough that one of his school buses actually got struck by a truck coming by down the hill. And so he reached out to us for help. And we contacted the state law enforcement director, Mike Lambert, and he has sent out deputy sheriffs to the school to be stationed along Ho'olaulea. I haven't seen them myself, but I've been told by him and his vice principal that they have been out there several days, talked to parents, talked to drivers, and urged them to slow down. We've also asked them to possibly come in the morning between 7 and 8 in the morning because principal says that's when many of the accidents or near accidents have occurred. And so Director Lambert has said either he'll have deputy sheriffs there or he'll ask HPD to help in the mornings and have sheriffs in the afternoon. So just to let you know, that's in the works and great support from both the state and HPD on this. So in this coming session, as far as the legislature is concerned, I will continue to be chairman of the Health Committee. And in response to what Chair Vare asked us, I'm going to name 3 bills that I introduced that will be heard in the next week or so. And I know that because I'm the chairman of the committee that will be hearing them. So guaranteed. One of them has to do with something called AEDs. You've seen them. They look like fire extinguishers, except they're bigger. They're automated external defibrillators. And what they do is you have a heart attack, you pull that out, it shocks you, and more often than not, it brings people back to life. And it saved countless numbers of lives across the country. They're mandated in our local government offices. Where you don't see them very often are in private businesses and stores and that sort of thing. So we have a bill to give businesses that agree to put in AEDs in their places a $500 tax credit. And the number of that bill is House Bill 1535. And that was actually suggested by a former EMT in Honolulu who said, we could save many more lives if we had more AEDs. Second bill, there are about 100,000 people in Hawaii who have either been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or have a loved one who is suffering from Alzheimer's. So that's about 1 out of 10 people in Hawaii. What I'm suggesting is we set up a network of centers throughout, at least one on each island, 2 on Oahu, that provide help to families with loved ones who are suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia. They can take their loved one to this clinic and be seen by a doctor or a nurse and provided, there's no real treatment for Alzheimer's and dementia, but there are things that can delay the onset and progression of the disease. And also, even just as importantly, provide resources for families who are looking for people to help take care of their loved ones. Anyway, that's House Bill 1853. Finally, this last bill deals with mental health among our youngsters. It's not real widely reported, but we're undergoing a mental health crisis among our young people. There are studies that show as many as 1/3 of our middle schoolers and high schoolers suffer from depression, and 15 to 20% have even considered suicide at some point in their lives. What really brought this home to me was about a month ago when I was asked to speak to 6th graders at Peaches. And in this small group, I met with one of the 6th grade girls told me that her best friend committed suicide, 6th grader. And she was naturally shook up about it. And she was able to see a counselor at school. But I thought we needed to do more. And so what I'm suggesting is we set up, or the Department of Health in cooperation with the DOE set up an online mental health resource for young people who can access this anytime on their mobile device or at home on their computers, and provide help, counseling, even some self-help advice at any time. And youngsters can access it in their own safe place. But, this attempts to address something that I think, at least me as an older person, are not as familiar with because, it's tough to be a young person these days, post-COVID, being in isolation, even these days, unlike the olden days when we used to play out in the neighborhood till it got dark and our parents made us come home. It's not like that anymore. And so where are they if not on the street? They're at home on the computer. And so this provides a resource for them to access whenever they can or whenever they want to. So hopefully you'll consider supporting it. It's House Bill 1562. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Representative Takayama, thank you so much. And I can relate to all three of those bills. So I will be providing testimony for you and probably in person on a few of them.
Thank you.
Okay, Rodney, go ahead.
Yeah, Representative Takayama. When Mr. Lambert comes out to Highlands on Ho'olaulea, please have him also look at the crosswalk activity on Noelani and Ho'olaulea. I happened to come home early one day and I take my usual route, Moanalua, turn up Ho'olaulea, make a left on Noelani, go on Moana and go home. But what I seen kind of got my concern and kind of got my ire up because I don't know if you're familiar with my saying about the mart mentality. You know what that is? Okay, the mart mentality was created by the two stores with the K and the W on the beginning of their name, the Kmart and Walmart. When those two stores came over here, they put crosswalks in front of their exits from their stores. And with the advent of these crosswalks, it made the pedestrians or the store visitors have the right of way to the point where they just walk across nose deep inside their seats. So they had the right of way. So that's what I call the mart mentality. So it's proliferated right now. Foodland has it. They do the same thing. So back in the old days, like you said, our parents told us, look both ways before you cross the street. Stop, then cross. What got my attention was the lack of stopping at the crosswalks and then proceeding. The kids from the Highlands Intermediate just go right across with no care whatsoever. And there were folks that were trying to make the turn over there and kids on their phones, everything, just like nothing. So like I always tell my wife, I said, you'd rather be dead right or alive and wrong. So when he comes on, either, you can do them both ways. Like you said, they sent the sheriffs into the law enforcement into the schools. But from my recollection, I see no crosswalk monitors over there. Normally, for the elementary side, you got the old JPOs and whatnot. But it was just blatant over there. And one day somebody's gonna, either they're gonna get nailed or another car is gonna nail the guy who's making the turn. So if you can have them look at it and maybe, educate them and,
Yeah, no,
enlighten them.
I understand. I totally agree. And I agree that some education has to be done on the part of our schools as well, forced on, to students, because I've seen students cross Moanalua Road right under the overpass, instead of going up the overpass. So I agree. And by the way, I forgot to mention that State Director of Transportation, Ed Sniffen, was also in the conversation, and he has promised to work with the city on looking at the feasibility of installing speed humps in the area around the school. So.
Great. Okay. Vice Chair, go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you for your report. I think I seen them out there on Monday. I seen the cars parked, the police cars or sheriff cars. I just know that they were there and it was unusual. So they did come out, but it was in the afternoon. So thank you. It is, Board Member Owang is right. It's pretty intense in the afternoon. Thank you.
Good, Heidi.
That's the site that we talked about for the next sign waving. So we're working with the community policing. That's an area where we want to get folks out and draw attention to it. And I guess now I'll be reaching out to that school specifically to ask them how they'd like to be involved. So thank you for that update.
Okay. Hey, board members, any other questions for Representative Takayama? Okay, moving on, and thank you so much, sir. Okay, moving on to our Representative Corey Chun. Welcome.
Evening, Chair, Vice Chair, board members, members of the Pearl City community, Corey Chan on behalf of the House of Representatives. So just want to also say Happy New Year. We're starting a new legislative session. So I mentioned before, my role now is as chair of the Committee on Agriculture and Food Systems. So one of those things that is in my purview is biosecurity, and that's one of the main issues that we're trying to tackle this session. As you've heard in the news, we've been plagued by coqui frogs, little fire ants, and especially coconut rhinoceros beetles on Oahu. And trying to figure out a way to manage the populations is a top concern of mine. I know I've talked to Chair very many times, and he said, "You come with some bills that, let me know." So I will share that I did introduce two bills on behalf of the Pearl City community. So one is HB 1600, and it's relating to gambling. And so this one comes from residents from Manana, where there was 2 gambling houses that was shut down in the last 3 years. And so I'm trying it again, but it's basically the issue with social gambling being legal. And so how do you help law enforcement prosecute when there's a social gambling defense? So it's tying it to noise complaints. And I tried it 2 years ago. When I brought it up at a Manana Neighborhood Security Watch, they asked me to do it again. So I've introduced it again. Hopefully this time, maybe it'll get some traction. And the other bill, HB 1826. So this one is relating to feral chickens, popular topic in Pearl City. But this one is something that I've been talking with Chair Barea about a lot. And so what this bill does is actually appropriates funding for the collection of chickens that are already caught. Because we do know we spend a lot of money on catching chickens, but a lot of folks have shared that, they can actually catch the chickens, but then when they catch them, we don't know what to do with them. And so the bill I had last year was to allow for people to humanely, take care of them on their own property. And that seemed too problematic because we couldn't decide on the definition of what humanely is. Some thought it was, they could drown it or cut its head off. And some preferred a method by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which uses CO2, which is not very user-friendly for a resident who's just, trying to get rid of a chicken problem. So instead of focusing efforts on catching and paying all this money catching, if we can just figure out a way to have somebody take them away, or if someone has a chicken, can take it to some place to take care of, it seems like that is kind of like another way to tackle the issue. So hopefully this is one way that we can help residents kind of reduce the feral chicken problem that they have. But that's one of the ideas that I know we've talked about before. So that's why I'm trying this route instead. But with that, I'll take any questions that the board may have. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Chun, thank you so much. And again, for the bills that you have, I'll be providing testimony and also providing added potential solutions for the feral chicken problem in Pearl City. And the other thing that still needs to be addressed is our feral cat problem that we have. And one of the things I was looking at as the students were designing the dog park, what is the feasibility of designing a cat sanctuary of where feral cats can be placed and where people could actually bring food and a place in one place that they could feed the cats instead of all over the city, and then put together a plan to make this thing a success. But I'll be working with you on that. Board members, any other questions? Go ahead, Guy.
I like your feral chicken idea right there. And if anybody has questions of what humane is, if you take the Hunter's Ed program, if you ever want to get certified to own a gun for whatever reason, they give you a very clear idea of what humane is. I mean, I won't say it on here, but it's online. Go through the program. It's $20, I think. And then another thing, I love the agricultural side of invasive species and stuff, but don't forget, I think it's bunchy banana top, the one that allows the bananas to sink and be hunched over, ruined due to soil or overwatering things. That's just another problem that I could foresee being the next agriculture problem, I guess you could say. Yeah, because banana, once that hits your banana tree, you can no longer cut it down and regrow. It just sinks into the soil. You have to completely remove it, so that you lose that entire tree in itself. But yeah, good job.
Okay, board members, any other questions? Seeing none, public? Nothing. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
All right, and here we are, privileged all the way from Mililani, our representative, LaChica.
Aloha.
Thank you for being in person.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, Trish Chica, representing District 37, Mililani, Waipio, Mililani, Mauka, and Coleridge. Happy New Year. I guess you can still say that. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Chinese New Year. So glad to be with you tonight. Joining me online, I'm not as extra as Senator Elefante, so they're not here in person, but I do have all of my staff online, and they'll be hopping on and introducing themselves in a second. I know you've met my office manager, Tosa Lobindan, but wanted to share a few highlights. This year, nothing's changed. I remain vice chair. This is my third session as vice chair of the House Committee on Education. I am on higher education as well as housing and the transportation committees. And I also continue to serve as a member of the House leadership team. I do have a few bills I'd like to share. Next month, you will get the full list in our newsletter. But for now, it's still in beta mode. But on my website, reptrishlachica.com, there's a tab there for 2026 bills that you can check my bill package for this year. But it doesn't have all the titles and descriptions yet. Tomorrow is the final day for us to introduce bills, so more will be coming in the next few days. I did want to highlight a few because transportation and pedestrian safety is very important to all of you. First is on safe routes to school funding. So last year, my bill to create the largest source of dedicated funding for safe routes to school, which puts a $5 surcharge beginning this year on motor vehicle registrations to go to safe routes to school funding. That's Act 212. We worked with Director Sniffen and Hawaii Department of Transportation. So currently, the state does not have the authority to expend those funds. And so working with them, they can appropriate them to the counties, the different counties, like Honolulu Department of Transportation Services. But what it does is they'll continue to be able to do that, but the state can also come in and do the infrastructure themselves. So they'd be able to install the crosswalks, sidewalks, rapid flashing beacons in partnership with the county. Or if there's, for whatever reason, it's taking too long, the state can also come in and then within a mile radius of the school, act on any safety improvement. So that one is House Bill 2454. So that's Safe Route to School Funding, House Bill 2454. The next one is House Bill 2186, which is our crosswalk safety bill. So House Bill 2186, we realize the statute has a lot of ambiguity on when drivers need to stop. So we actually clarify that and say you have to stop and remain stopped. When a pedestrian is on one lane and has to cross to the other lane in order to be able to cross safely. And then we created some penalties, especially if it results in a bodily injury. And one of my staff members, Tiara Tenorio, had helped me with that bill. So that's House Bill 2186. The final one, though, is being heard this Friday. And we talked about Keiki and mental health. So I have a artificial AI chatbot safety bill. So artificial intelligence, as you know, is been rapidly being adopted everywhere, and it is here to come. But right now, there's no regulation for the protection of minors. So when they use ChatGPT, Meta AI, or all these other applications, Gemini, Claude, there's no guardrails for when kids either share information that's sensitive. I think these apps are really designed to keep you engaged, and so sometimes it'll give you what it thinks you need to hear, right? And so for kids, they've been using it for mental health, for coping, and sometimes it has had a tendency to lead into potentially harmful behaviors. There have been youth suicide in the mainland. And then a few weeks ago, there was an incident. This was on the news, but there was an incident from 12-year-old minor who was engaging in a conversation with a character chatbot, and it was sending, it was engaging in a relationship with her, and that she was trying to exit, but it wouldn't let her. And so we just want to create some common sense guardrails. That's being heard. House Bill 1782 is being heard on Friday at 10 a.m. So I'd appreciate your support on that one. And then I wanted to follow up on Member Wong's comment last October about dedicated bus lanes. I believe you said you had been to San Diego and there was something similar being implemented there. So I can't work on the Middle Street. I believe you asked for Middle Street because that's way outside my district, but I am working with Hawaii, the city and the state on a dedicated bus lane adjacent to the Waiava Pearl Highlands Skyline Station. But this allows Route 51, which does go from Wahiwa to Mililani to Coal Ridge and Waipio, to have direct access to that station. So I think that's the follow-up. I think with that said, I am going to turn it over to my staff, starting with my office manager, Tosa Lobindan, and then my committee clerk, Alani Santana, and then also Tiara Tenorio, my legislative aide. So Tosa.
Thank you, boss. Aloha, Chair, members of the board, and members of the committee. Tosa here. Happy New Year, everyone. It's been a few months, so happy to see all of your faces. And we are looking forward to assisting in any ways possible, especially with testimony. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our office. I did drop all of the links in the chat. So I dropped the link to her bill page. I dropped the link to her community updates, and then also to her newsletter. So if you have any questions, please feel free to also drop them in the chat, but I will pass it over to Alani to introduce herself.
All right, aloha, and thank you.
Aloha, Chair, members of the board, and members of the committee. My name is Alani Santana, and I am Repa Chica's committee clerk. I help manage the House Education Committee operations and also Repa Chica's bill package. So mahalo for having me, and I look forward to working with all of you. And I'd like to pass it over to Tiara.
All right, aloha, and thank you.
Thank you. Actually, it looks like she's having some technical difficulties.
That's okay. Tiara Tenorio is my legislative aide, and she handles community engagement. So she'll send out calls for testimony as well as any communications from my office. So I forgot to pass out my newsletter. I did have one, and it's just a highlight from last year's accomplishments. And then in the back was my talk story from December. We highlighted Aloha Stadium redevelopment, the very first teacher housing project that we're working on in my district, and school Go Kid school carpool pilot, and many more. And then we had the Department of Transportation Services there too. But Member Smith was able to participate. Were you? No, you didn't make it yet. But Member Smith was able to make it. So thank you for attending my talk story.
Representative Chica, thank you so much. Importantly, thank you for keeping Pearl City on your radar. And we are so happy that you will continue in the education area, because with your accomplishments that you've done for all of us, it's greatly appreciated. And I just want to give you a heads up. And speaking of education, we do have an issue that's arising. Of course, I'm on the neighborhood commission and with the planning committee. We do have some of the residents that live in the Waipio Peninsula, and their children go to Pearl City High School, and they've asked for boundary changes. So I just want to let you know that that's on my radar, and we're going to be looking at that closely. But for the education stuff, you got us. We're solid. And I want to apologize. I couldn't make your last town hall. I had a conflict. So over to the board, because I know you guys got stuff to talk.
I wanted to ask about the the water safety plan. So I know we had a resolution last year regarding getting water safety and possibly swim lessons back into the DOE curriculum. It was there in the 80s, and we'd really like to see that come back around. So if you have any colleagues that are working on that, I know it tried last session and didn't make it, but if we could just keep pushing for that. We have 2% of our second graders who know how to swim or self-rescue, and we live on an island. It's a problem.
Yes, I know we heard legislation last year that the committee did support, but it didn't make it to the end of session. But when will see it, we'll continue to help move it along.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, see none, hear none. Trish, thank you so much.
See you next time if I can make it. one
Okay,
of these
and
times.
to all of you, all our legislators, thank you. We wish you the best. We are going to help set you guys up for success this year, as always. Take care. Okay, moving on agenda. Congressman Case should be ending. Well, actually, he already ended his presentation. I don't know if Nestor's online or not, or I think Nestor is. I think he had told me that he might have somebody else taking his place. I'll have to check it out. Okay, moving on board business. I was intended on drafting a letter to the Director of Department of Law Enforcement in regard to the homeless issues. I'm going to defer that for right now till we get more information. Also, we will be planning a meeting for HFD Air Ops. I'm going to defer that for right now. And then item C, amend resolution 2023-01. Vice Chair, could you please present and talk about this one?
Sure. This resolution amends Resolution 2023-01, extends it for 2 years. And this resolution is in support of improving the senior apartment in Pearl City. These projects, especially when funded in part by the state, can take a very long time. And so this resolution allows the chair and this board to submit our letter of support, which has to be dated like 30 days in between every application. So they do this every single year. And this resolution allows this board to support the redevelopment improvement of this for the next 2 years. Move to approve.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second? Guy?
A second.
Guys, okay. Roll call vote.
Member Wong. Vice Chair Duran.
Aye.
Member Dupio. Member Dupio.
Yes.
Member Inouye. Not here. Member Smith. I think he left early. Member Takeuchi.
Yes.
Member Taylor. He also left early. Member Velasco. Chevrolet.
Aye.
Member Weber.
Abstain.
Member Yamato. 7 ayes, 0 noes, 1 abstain. Motion adopted.
Okay. All right, moving on to we're all done with board business, moving on to other agencies. And we have from Joint Base Pearl Harbor, we got Miss Chris Tanakahara. Aloha.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board. Chris Tanahara from Navy Region Hawaii. I sent in my report, so I will just go over the highlights. First off, we have resumed our community white boat tours. This is the tour of Pearl Harbor. We have our first one coming up on Friday, and we will be doing them this year every other month. So the next one will be scheduled for March, and we will let the board know ahead of time in case you would like to attend the tours. Let's see, if you are tracking the EIS for Pacific Missile Range facility on Kauai, just wanted to let you know that the public release of the final EIS is scheduled for August. So August will be the date that the final release of the EIS is going to be made public. So again, if you're tracking that. Let's see. We also have resumed our Saturday Pierside ship tours. So these are smaller tours of ships that are in port, and we do those almost every Saturday. Saturday morning, they start at 9 and we end at about 10:30. So we will keep you updated on when those are scheduled and which ships will be available for touring. And then finally, before I turn it over to Joanna Delphin from Navy Closure Task Force Red Hill, RIMPAC. So this is a RIMPAC year. It's a biennial exercise, and we are looking at RIMPAC being held this summer. We don't have dates yet, but as we get more information, we will share them with the board. Pending your questions, I will turn it over to Joanna.
Okay, Chris, just one thing I wanted the board to
Yes.
know that I received a phone call, email from Navy-based Pearl Harbor, the medical clinic, and their Petty Officer Association reached out to me looking for opportunities to volunteer to support the community. So I pointed them to the abandoned cemetery that needed some help. If you guys got any other ideas that you want me to bring forward to them, please let me know. But I let Chris know so she could let Captain White know that this is great for our sailors to work with the community. Any questions for Chris before she turns it over to the Red Hill? Seeing none, Chris. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chair. Good evening, community and board members. Joanna Delphin for Navy Closure Task Force Red Hill. Just a couple updates for the new year. Happy New Year to everybody. Rear Admiral Mark Williams, who was the former deputy commander for Navy Closure Task Force, has left the command. Rear Admiral Lester Ortiz came on board with us at the beginning of this month, so he is now the deputy commander for the task force. And then the second announcement that we have is starting this week, by the end of this week, we should begin degassing tank 20 at the facility. If anyone is interested in viewing the air quality monitoring reports from that degassing, the information is available daily. We update it daily on our mobile app, daily on our website and hourly on our mobile app. If you haven't had a chance to download our mobile app, I encourage you to do so to keep up with some of the latest and greatest news, including progress of tank cleaning and closure, as well as pipeline cleaning and removal. That's all I have. Happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you for the updates, and we're really happy to see progress being made in airing out those tanks. Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you very much for the updates. Okay, moving on, Chancellor Penaloza could not be here. Vicky Bowie, are you here? Aloha, Vicky. Okay, well, we're waiting for Vicky. Moving on to
Are you-
Arlen. Oh, there you are. Okay. Sorry, caught you between
Sorry
clicking
about
out.
that. Okay, so we'll be closed in February on February 15 and 16 in observance of President's Day. I wanted to mention that in February we'll be having a winter reading challenge. It's called Read for the Gold. It's in partnership with Christy Yamaguchi's Always Dream, and it's available for grades K to 12. So if you are interested, you can sign up maybe at the library, or you can sign up online on our website or through the Beanstack app. And we're also going to be doing introduction to 3D printing. So we do have some donated 3D printers. So we've had some interest, like a lot of people are very interested in how 3D printers work. So we do a class, and after the class, you'll be able to print something off of our printer. Keep in mind, these are donated and they're kind of old, so they have very limited capabilities, but it's a good introduction to 3D printing, and something that I think people are very interested in now. And we have a lot of other programs, but you can always contact us at the library and pick up a program calendar to find out what else is going on at the library. I don't really have much of an update about our renovation. I know a lot of people are interested in that. I can tell you that we are still working out our temporary pop-up location. Once that's finalized, hopefully I'll have some information about that for you guys next month. But for now, I'm hoping to have a better update for you by then at the next meeting. So that's my report. Thank you.
All right, Vicky, thank you so much. And board members, keep your ears open, eyes open if you know of a place that'd be good for this pop-up. And we don't, Pro Ridge has got some opportunities, but they got the labor library over there. Heidi, go ahead.
Is there an age for the intro to 3D printing?
Not necessary, but we do prefer maybe it's just mostly for adults, but we will accept students, but they would have to be accompanied by an adult. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
All right, Vicky, see any other questions from the board? Seeing here none. Thank you so much for waiting for us. You can get back to your cooking.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on. And I can't believe it. We got Arlen Ledward here from Board of Water Supply. And thank you for being in person.
Good evening, board members. Great to see you. Happy New Year. No water main breaks to report for December last month. Great news. The general water announcement this month is conserving water now comes with bigger rewards. You might have seen our flyer, the rebates for most of our Energy Star rated clothes washers. Used to be $75, now it's $150. WaterSense labeled toilets up to $200, and smart water monitors are $400. So the Board of Water Supply, in partnership with Department of Environmental Services, has expanded the Water Sensible rebate program, basically doubling the amount of the rebates. Commercial customers may also qualify for higher rebates on plumbing and kitchen equipment. The goal is simple: help people to save money while using less water. If you want more information, you can go to our website, boardofwatersupply.com/rebates, to find out more. I also, since I haven't seen you guys since October, brought our calendar. If you'd like a wall calendar, it highlights the student participants from last year's poetry contest and water conservation poster contest. That's the end of my report.
Hey, Arlen, thank you so much. And again, for this last year, 2025, I think you've attended almost every board meeting. We appreciate all the updates. And also we mostly appreciate the quick service from the Board of Water Supply. I do have one thing for you, if I can ask for your help. If you have any hydrology experts, we've got a problem with the cemetery in Pearl City. We have over 25 grave sites that have collapsed, and the dirt is being sucked out of the grave sites. And I think it's going underground stream or some type of lava tubes. I don't know. I need somebody to tell me what's going on so we can try to fix the issue. So if you have an expert in the Board of Water Supply that knows hydrology and all that, I'd appreciate if you could recommend that person.
We do have a hydrologist, and they also have contacts with the state hydrologist.
Can you help me with that?
Yep. Sure.
Okay, great. Okay, Rodney?
Question. You guys are planning a desalinization plan for Olay Street? Caught you on that one, buddy. So how's that one going? Because the reason why I'm asking, if you guys are going to do the Olay Street one, what are you guys going to do with the one up by Hawaii Hardware and the fire department?
So you're asking about the one, is that by Hardware Hawaii?
Yeah, the one that was,
the old state.
yeah, the old, yeah,
facility.
yeah.
The original plan was to develop both. I can get you more details on that.
Yeah, the only reason why I ask is because I work in Campo Industrial Park and there's only one way out. And that bugger is right in line with Roosevelt Road. So if there was another exit that we could use, you guys are blocking it. So move that bugger over about 300 feet and we're good to go. But I want to see you guys do more desalinization plants because I think, like I told my friends, I said, hey, we got to agree that if there is no rain, there is no water. And I think every city on the west side of each island should consider desalination plant. It's like Waianae, Lahaina, all those folks over there, they need the water.
I agree. I can get you an update on the cell next month.
Okay, Heidi.
So I just had a question about the semi-annual water report that I got. I don't know if that's a good question to ask you or if I should call
Customer
someone.
water quality report.
Yeah. So I noticed that the sample years on some of the contaminants are 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And I was just curious, it does say that if a substance is not shown, then it was not detected, but we're reporting data that's 2 or 3 years old on these reports. I didn't quite understand what the purpose of that was, or if it just didn't get updated, or it hadn't been detected. I mean, it's kind of old, right?
I believe it's testing a cycle, but let me get the answer for you next month.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Board of Water Supply? Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to associations. Tony, you got any updates?
Yeah, there's a Pro City Craft Fair this Sunday at Don Quixote the shopping center Pro City from 9 to 2 p.m. And then on February 14th, there's a Lions Breakfast at the Pro City High School from 6:30 to 10:30. So you're all invited. You can take out or eat in. That's about it. On the 20th of February is the Pro City Community Association bingo at the Pro City High School.
It's gonna be at Pearl Highlands Elementary School. Okay, and Vice Chair?
I think, Chair, you wanted to make sure all the members knew that you will be reaching out for members to submit testimony as needed at the state ledge.
Yes. Yes, and if you need any coaching, you need any help with mentoring, writing and all that, let me know. I've got a lot of good examples for you, but we have always made an impact and helped set our legislators up for success in getting those bills passed. So thank you all so much. And Vice Chair, any last comments? Okay, she's good. All right, other than that, the Pearl City Neighborhood Board 21, next board meeting will be, what? Oh, the minutes. Yeah, the important minutes from October and the special meeting we didn't do. Okay, so if there are no changes, anybody have any changes to the October 28 minutes? If there are no amendments to it, we'll consider them approved. Thank you. Okay, in the Pearl City Neighborhood 21, we'll have a hybrid virtual in-person WebEx meeting at Momilani Community Center here. Next one on Tuesday, February 24th. And of course, our meetings are broadcast on a Alelo channel. So everyone, thank you so much, board members. I love you. You guys are doing great. And this board meeting is adjourned.